Now, Dawn French, well, she has been very busy in lockdown, as well as writing her 4th novel, Because of You. She's also been filming this year's Christmas return for the Vicar of Dibley. Dawn French joins me now. I just, honestly, those clips are fantastic. When you went into you went right into the chocolate fountain.
I certainly did, and what a pleasure it was.
No. So listen, tell me about the Vicar of Dibley, because it's slightly different. What can we expect?
Well, we asked ourselves, by we I mean Richard Curtis and Paul Mayhew Archer and I, asked ourselves, what would Geraldine be doing in the lockdown? Of course, she'd be on the webcam talking to all her parishioners. So that's what we've done. We've made 9 little tiny films where she, through the power of Zoom, is connecting with everybody. And it's funny and silly as she's talking to folk, and she's doing a sort of newsletter and a sermon. And we've tried to be light and funny, but we also remember those who aren't with us anymore. And there's a eulogy to Alice there, which wasn't very easy for me to film, but was important to do.
I'll bet, because she was fantastic, wasn't she, Emma? And taken away too soon, far too soon. I loved the wee bit at the end where you used to do the jokes and she didn't get them. And it was just that you just feel better watching that show. So these will be really good. And you're right, Geraldine would have been doing that. She was a communicator, loves communicating, and she should be there. She'd be doing that.
We do have Hugo Horton, you know, Alice's husband. He's there with me. James Fleet plays him. And there is a lovely moment when I tell a joke to him. And, you know, fingers crossed he might get it at last.
I don't think he will. Now, look,
you could be right.
I have just finished Because of You, and Dawn, the ending. I don't want to give away the ending, but honestly, I mean, it was, you know, it's the usual with your books. I've got to do it all in a one and stay up till 2 in the morning and then come in all like bleary. But it's just, the ending is beautiful. Like I say, I'm not going to give that away. But it's a remarkable story, and it's about love in the end, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's about the kind of power and magnitude of a mother's love, which you know, Lorraine, and I know. And I know because I've been mothered so wonderfully by my own mum, and because I've tried to copy that with my own kid. But I wanted to write about issues of identity and who makes us, what a family is, whether it's about the DNA flowing through your blood or whether it's about those who step up for you and are there for you whatever happens.
And that bond is incredibly strong. It's not always easy, as we know from being daughters and from being mothers. You know, it isn't. But the love that shines, because, you know, there's something is done that's unforgivable in a way. But, you know,
I'm happy to explain
Please, explain.
That's not a spoiler. But this book starts with 2 women giving birth, 2 very different women, giving birth in the same maternity unit on the same night. And the next morning, they both give birth to little girls. And the next morning, one of the women leaves with a baby and one doesn't. And the one who leaves with a baby has stolen the other woman's child. And that she forms a huge bond with this child, obviously, and the child grows up. And really, we cut ahead to 18 years later when, of course, this secret is bubbling up. And it's about what happens when you find out that the world that you thought you knew isn't quite the world it is. And it's also about how women are magnificent and mighty when it comes to forgiving each other. And we know, don't we, when it comes to mothering or to your friends or other women, it's all about forgiveness in the end.
You're right, and you are the bigger person if you can forgive, because if you don't forgive someone, you carry that around with you all of the time.
You do. I mean, and that is a crime that's very hard to forgive. Stealing a baby. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's very hard to forgive. But I wanted to write a character that was a good person, well-intentioned, who steals that baby in an impetuous moment. And I wanted to see if I could challenge myself as a writer to forgive that person for doing what she did.
Well, the love shines through every single page. And I know that you love the whole process, don't you? I mean, you love the whole process of just sitting. I mean, I know you live in beautiful Cornwall and that's inspiring and you can look out the window and see the amazing scenery. But you like the process of it's just you and your imagination, and there you are, and you just get on with it.
Yeah, I do. I write longhand, you know, on lined paper with a pencil. And there's nothing I like more than a clean page every morning. It's like a sort of metaphor for restarting my brain every day. And I'm never alone. I know lots of people talk about feeling isolated when they're writing, but I never feel that because my head is peopled with all the characters that I've invented. And if I've invented them properly, I enjoy returning to their company, whether they be good people or bad people or funny people. You know, I've tried to put some funny people into this novel, and I always find that, you know, my best humour that I can write comes when the situation is a bit tense. You know, and I put a character in here that's a policeman who's full of word wasps, and every time he opens his mouth, he says the wrong thing at just the wrong moment. And writing that character, you know, made me laugh a lot. So I'm never alone when I'm writing, and I'm a bit of a functioning introvert anyway. So I'm very happy in my own company.
No, it's if you can be happy like that, that's the key to being a happy person, absolutely. But so much to look forward to. We've got this Beatrix Potter movie to look forward to.
Yes.
Now, when did you do that? Did you do that during lockdown? Could you not? Were you in a wee bubble or something? How did that work?
Well, it was literally as we came out of lockdown, we went into making this beautiful, beautiful film. And Elaine Cameron, who was the producer of this film, would not give up on it. And all the way through lockdown, I was thinking she was completely deluded that we'd be able to make it. But we were tested every 48 hours. The crew was in full PPE the whole time. It was one of the first productions that happened after lockdown. So it was very weird, but the crew was so beautiful and so grateful to be back at work. And I was so grateful to be there with people that I love so much, with Jessica Hines and Alison Steadman and Bill Bailey and Rob Brydon, and this beautiful little boy, Harry Taylor, who plays Roald, because the story is about this real thing that happened that I didn't know about, that the real Roald Dahl, age 6, met the real Beatrix Potter, age 60, just for a few moments. And he'd had a very difficult life, and his mum took him up to Beatrix Potter's house. And I think he was looking for Peter Rabbit, really. And Beatrix probably had many people that used to come running into that garden. And she was quite a gruff person. But my friend Abby Wilson has written this beautiful film about that little moment that obviously affected Roald's writing. And if you look at his writing, you can see the influence of her.
God, no idea. That's incredible. I've no idea about that. Now, you mentioned Bill Bailey. Isn't he doing well in Strictly?
Yes!
Who knew? The twinkle toes.
Well, you know, there's something about Bill that I mean, obviously he's musical, obviously he's got rhythm, but who knew he was quite as sexy as that? I think he's fantastic. I'm rooting for Bill to win. I've got bleeding thumbs calling up and voting for Bill.
No, he's doing great. He really is. I mean, obviously we've got Ranveer as well, but they definitely are my two favourites.
Oh, Ranveer is so beautiful in it too. She's amazing. Oh, she's amazing.
They're all fantastic, and it's just lovely to wallow in that gorgeousness. Now, look, you have also been titting around with your pal Jennifer, haven't you? Because you've got this podcast, and it's called Titting About, isn't it?
It is, because that is, after all, what we do. She was the first person back at my house when the lockdown lifted. You know, she was the first person there, and we just were having cups of tea. We had to sit outside, and we thought, what can we do? Actually, let's just talk like we always do, but invite listeners to join us. We've been asked in the past to do podcasts, and we couldn't see quite how to do it, but somehow there was something about the lockdown that made it completely make sense that two chums would be titting about and enjoy and invite others to listen. You know, we can't stick to a theme, Lorraine. You know, we tried to, and we sort of do, but we can't quite. But you know, it was very interesting. I found out quite a lot about Fatty doing that.
Did you?
Because we talked about our childhoods and stuff. And I mean, I think I know her better than most people, but I found out lots of things about her that I didn't know. And of course, when we're together, we just try and make each other laugh. That's what we do. We have a bit of fun, and so it's an invitation, really. For people
no, of course. No, I like that. What was the thing you found out about her that made you go, oh, I didn't know that?
Oh, well, there were things about her childhood that quite surprised me. I mean, I knew her dad very well, and her dad had a sort of fixation on taking them back to the same place. I think it was in Scotland, where her mum's from, for family holidays. And she went swimming a lot in raw sewage.
Listen, I did that. That must be that must be a thing when we were in Ayrshire. I remember that as a wee baby. I remember that as a kid. Well, that's brought back a lovely memory. Thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Must have helped our immunity somehow.
Do you know what? Absolutely, because I'm never not well, so it probably has. Listen,
Exactly.
It's always such a joy to talk to you. Thank you.
Likewise, Lorraine.
Thank you for because of
thank
you.
Thank you for reading that book.
Oh, are you kidding me? It was a joy.
You've done that.
Do you know what, Dawn? This is one of the joys of what has happened. One of the few things is that I'm getting a chance to read brilliant books. It's just great. I love it.
Yeah, good.
I absolutely love it. I really do. Thank you for everything. And I hope to see you
thank you.
in person.
Thanks for your generosity. Appreciate it. And happy Christmas.
Same to you. Have a good one. Have a good one. And of course, Dawn's book, Because of You, is out right now. Don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Lorraine on the ITV Hub and all the best clips, compilations and playlists right here on our channel. Just subscribe now and you'll never miss an upload. Click here to watch another video similar to this one, or click here to head to our channel's homepage to explore all of our exciting videos.